Time to take a look at the Una-class Commando submarine of the Yugoslav Navy, namely the P-913 Zeta, which is currently located in the military history park in Pivka, Slovenia. This video contains a mixture of video footage, photos and graphics. Note that the source situation is complicated. For instance, the museum homepage and Wikipedia have differences in length of about 1 meter, although the Wikipedia article is heavily sourced, but almost none of the sources is English, so it's hard to say which one is correct. Let's take a closer look at the submarine. The submarine has a length of 90 meters according to Wikipedia and almost 20 meters according to the museum homepage. This could be an error, or maybe the P-913 has a different size. The Wikipedia article notes that another boat of the class was longer due to modifications. The submarine is 2.7 meters wide and has a height of 3.7 meters according to the museum. The operational depth was at around 100 meters and a maximum depth of 130 meters. So let's get into the submarine. The submarine can only be entered and exited from the top hatch located in the tower. As you can see here, the distance from the deck to the top of the submarine is about 2 meters. But my head is basically facing the tube, so let's go into first person mode. Well, as you can see, you need to kneel down quite a bit to enter the fore or aft part of the submarine. So let's take a look at the front part first. The walls are full of pipes, wires, equipment, valves and other stuff. About 6 to 8 people can sit comfortably on the benches under which the batteries are stored. The crew of the submarine was 4 men and an optional 6 commandos depending on the mission. A large part of the ship was filled with batteries. According to the guide, about 1/3 of the total weight of 76 tons consists of batteries. As you can see, in the very front is the command section. The command section consists of 2 seats, the left one in front of the navigation equipment and the right one in front of the passive and active sonar. An active sonar basically pings for an enemy by sending out signals, but gives away the submarine position, whereas a passive sonar is just listening. In this case, the passive sonar was from Grupp Atlas Elektronik. Yeah, sneaky Germans and submarines. Behind the seats there was a periscope, which could be used to take a look outside of the submarine while being submerged. Of course, usually it would be retracted. Let's move on to the aft part of the submarine, which houses the engine room and the chemical toilet. Now, as you can hear, the generator is running inside the boat. When entering, I noticed that the ventilation system outside was definitely working. Thus I asked if it was the original one, which was confirmed, although it uses an outside energy source now. Note that during the visit all hatches were open. Now this is the engine section. The submarine was powered by 2 24 horsepower electric engines. The submarine was only powered by batteries and there was no possibility to charge the batteries in the ship itself. Thus it needed to be recharged by an external source. The maximum underwater speed was 8.2 knots and 6 knots at the surface. The maximum range at the traveling speed of 3 knots was around 250 to 270 nautical miles. Hence the main target for these boats would have been Italy. Yet the main mission of these submarines were not to get pizza from Italy. These submarines were built for mine-laying operations in coastal areas or to drop off 6 commando soldiers into enemy territory. For this it was paramount that the submarine was undetected, thus it would be submerged during the whole operation. Once the mission area was reached, the submarine moved to a depth of 30 meters. The commandos would move into the central section after the front and aft section would be sealed off by the doors. Then the central section would be flooded in order for the commandos to leave the submarine. The guide explicitly noted that the 6 commandos would move into the central section, and it is hard to imagine due to its size. Once the commandos left the submarine, they would retrieve their equipment, which was stored in 4 compartments on the top of the hull, 2 on each side. Remember the red valves inside the boat? They were used to open the compartments so the commander could retrieve the equipment. For instance, an R1 swimmer delivery vehicle, of which one is parked right next to the submarine in the museum. Once the commandos were deployed, the submarine would return to base. In case you are interested in seeing the submarine for yourself, the one I visited is located in the military history park in Pivka, Slovenia, and you need to book the submarine tour as a special. For prices and more, check out the homepage, the link is in the description. Also, I will do an impression video on the museum itself in the upcoming weeks. Thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, consider liking and subscribing. Also, thanks a lot to Holy Driver for providing transport and accommodation services, which made this trip possible. And also special thanks to my Patreons, who also had a substantial financial influence on this museum trip. So stay tuned and see you next time.